As was stated, I'm an ordained permanent deacon assigned to St. Ambrose Cathedral Parish. I'm a lifelong Iowan, born and raised in Washington, Iowa. I retired after 35 years of public service as a state employee and am now an active member of the Iowa Citizens for Community Improvement. Average working men and women in Iowa are losing, and the budget proposed by Governor Bradstad makes things even worse. The unemployment rate is way above where it should be, and all of us are finding it harder to make ends meet and pay the mortgage, that is, if you're still in your home. Instead of programs that create jobs, adjust mortgages, and rebuild our crumbling infrastructure, this budget contains more tax cuts for businesses and the well-to-do. The governor inherited a budget surplus of over $300 million. Many other states envy being in the black. The last thing Iowa should do is squander its inheritance by cutting taxes for businesses and cutting services for Iowans working their way back to recovery. We don't just elect a governor to make the numbers add up from year to year. He needs to be a steward of our economic future. And that means investments, not giveaways. On January 15 of this year, the Des Moines Register published an article titled Bradstad's Covenant Principles. The statistic that struck me said, and I quote, Iowa's richest 1% of families pays roughly 6% of their income in state and local taxes, according to the 2007 study by the Institute on Taxation and Economic Policy. The poorest 20% of residents pay 11%, or almost twice the rate of the richest Iowans. I ask, where's the outrage? How can the top 1% or even the top 50% justify crying out for more tax cuts? Well, how does this happen? I read an article about Dave Johnson that had a good explanation. He wrote about what he called crabs in a bucket. The economic winners pit people like us against each other. Teachers against clerks, working moms against nurses, retired folks against job seekers, like a bucket of crabs. Dave Johnson writes, individually, the crabs could easily escape from the pot, but instead they grab at each other in a useless king-of-the-hill competition, which prevents any from escaping and ensures the collective demise. The Coalition for a Better Iowa has come forward today to make it clear Iowans will no longer act like crabs in a bucket. We are facing legislators and the governor to say enough is enough. There are right options that will favor those with real needs, that will create jobs for the unemployed, rebuild our infrastructure, save our homes, and give us hope for a prosperous future. We need a balanced approach to move Iowa forward, not cuts in services vital to our success, and not tax cuts that take away resources we need to invest the way we have done in the past. Be aware, the crabs are now coming out of the bucket.